Speaking of playing games on Steam, did I use that segue already today? I feel like I did.
Yeah, do it again.
Speaking of playing games on Steam, do you guys remember Steam Direct?
Yeah, that's the thing that
the
lets
follow-up to Greenlight, where they're just like, hey, just pay us money and we'll put your game on Steam.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How much money?
It was like $100.
Oh, that's not
to
bad.
get it submitted. Yeah.
And then is it guaranteed on there, or is there like a seal of approval, like this Mr. Steam says, hey, this is good to go? Or can you just fart it onto there?
Pretty sure you kind of pay your $100 to get on
good?
Steam.
There's a lot of stuff that we see on Steam that seems like it just went up on there.
Like someone really didn't look at that before that went up.
Yep.
So how many you might have asked?
I did inside my head.
Over 1,000 games
That's
have
too many.
gone up since Steam
That's
Direct.
a lot. Oh my God.
215 of those apparently arrived in the first week of August alone.
Jesus.
It's intense.
So what are we talking about? What's the takeaway?
The takeaway is it's carnage. It is. I have found that list. The full new. All right, so Steam is like, hey, we have the curation tools to handle this load, which I do think they do. It's tough. Okay, it's tough for me to talk about because I do feel like they are doing a pretty good job of not surfacing a lot of that kind of what I'll just call Steam trash, right? And I'm not trying to make a value judgment on a lot of games that got caught in there, but there is a lot of garbage in there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I do think they're doing a pretty good job. So to get to the new releases, at least from the web UI, it's like 4 clicks in. You got to be like new releases. You got popular releases, popular new releases,
Like
show all new
more,
releases
yeah.
to get down into like everything that's been coming out. So I do think they are tucking a lot of that stuff away for better or worse, because then you don't surface if you are hidden there. So you got a small game that might be awesome. Like it's really hard to surface anywhere in there. So for us, when we look at games to look at for the week, it's real rough out there. It's like some of those games are like, I don't know, Coin Flipper 1, Coin Flipper 2, Coin Flipper 3, and they're all coming out on the same day for like $1.49. It's a lot of
fidget spinner titles.
Yeah, and like a lot of sub like $3.99 games that look like I don't know if this
$3.99.
I don't think this should be on here.
Hang on, I'm gonna bang this dinner bell. I'm gonna ring this fucking air horn again. I'm just gonna say it. The fact that Valve again is doing everything it possibly can to curate their system by just not hiring people to actually curate the system for them and like adhere to a set of guidelines and standards that everything applies to is just fucking bizarre.
They're kind of hurting financially. They can't really afford it right now. But,
there's a question though. Like, how do you do that?
It's
like, how do you do it?
You literally you hire a team of people who look at every submission that comes in, and you create a set of guidelines and standards that every game has to kind of match up to.
Yeah, but what are those?
That's the thing. That's up to them to decide.
But what, like, hypothetically, what do you think, like, PlayStation has?
Oh, they definitely have terms of the TR.
No, theirs have gotten lax too, because there's some real trash in that PlayStation store too. They're not completely solved with this.
TRCs, TRS. What's the thing?
Terms of service?
No. The checklist you got to go through when you submit the submission approval stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
You do have to.
But what are they? Because I feel like
some
it's
of that
all
stuff,
about like a value judgment.
So some of that stuff used to be, if you're going to be on this console, like, hey, when you unplug the controller, you have to have a thing come up that says like your controller's been unplugged. Like, hey, I remember hearing Microsoft had a thing that's like if you have a loading screen, you have to have text on that loading screen. You can't just have a loading bar. You have to have like, hey, did you know you can dodge by pushing X? Or like, hey, Bill has a mustache, and that's pretty weird, right? And like certain loading times, too long, like that kind of stuff.
Have to have achievements.
Yeah, you have checkbox, and you get sent back if you didn't meet the things. And,
okay, interesting.
But
it's not like
they had rules on patching and all that stuff.
But I feel like all of those things wouldn't necessarily make one of those clicker games not go through.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The stuff that I would want the like curated, and this is where I think it gets a little tricky, is like, is this a ripoff?
Right.
And like that's a real tough one to just be like, I don't know, like. If I made a game and I submitted it for $100, right? How do I get on the front page of Steam? Like, it's got to be a really good game, I guess.
Presumably.
Yeah, like that's the hardest part is breaking through the noise, and like that's where I feel like Valve is trying to have it both ways of like, we want to be a platform for everybody, but also by that you're getting lost in the shuffle.
They're trying to make the market run itself. Like they are adamant about trying to let the market police itself in whatever way they can conceive that, again, is not them hiring people and actually creating, the set standards by which any game on Steam must meet.
But they're also having stuff that's like popular new releases and a new releases section, which I'm not sure how much they put their thumb on the scale for some of that stuff. Because I feel like there is definitely stuff on there that's like, we're promoting this over something else.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's a really tough problem. And it's not just a Valve and Steam problem. That is a surfacing problem for everything. Our website has that problem.
Yeah.
Like,
And again, I'm not saying that this is just like an easy, they hire some people and then it's fixed. Like there's stuff that they would have to do to improve this.
But like, what if they just had a shovelware tab? That's just like,
I think they'd rename that.
I don't know. Some people might be like, yeah, it is. But like, maybe you should check it out. Like, we'd probably wind up going to that tab a lot and be like, I don't know, it's got dinosaurs and UFOs in it. I guess we should buy it.
Nothing else coming out this week.
I guess if they are completely satisfied having their marketplace be borderline unusable to anyone that doesn't know exactly what they want at any given moment, then fine, by all means, Godspeed, enjoy, buy more knives, I don't give a fuck.
So I almost feel the opposite way. I think their marketplace now has become... They hide so much of that. They've like opened the door and said like, okay, we're going to let people publish. We're going to make it easier. We don't have to go through this green light process anymore. And then they just tucked it so far back in the corner and just kept their like front door. Their modules are huge now for their games that they're promoting. And then their list is like 10 games that's like almost always Fallout and like, just always up there. And like, a couple of other things that are good to have up on there. But then to get to that other stuff, even the good stuff that's not on that front door is really hard. Like,
and that's fine, but I mean, it's like you're still letting it on there, and you're still letting it clutter up, the existing space. And it's like, what is the value for anyone if you're letting people pay? I mean, I guess you get $100 out of the deal, but it's like, okay, then it just sits there and dies.
Listen, I don't like it. I've already been burned. Maybe it's because we do this job and we look for stuff, but I've bought stuff that's like, oh, fuck, I just got scammed. Like I just bought a thing and there are 3 other versions of this thing out because it's just an asset swap of this game. It is not super easy to get into their all new releases though, as I'm trying to click through right now and try and find it. Oh, there it is. Took me a while. Jeff Echo, you saw me looking for it.
Yeah, you should have been there earlier, but
it's pretty tough. Anyway.
Anywho,
they also have all their movies now that come out on there.
Yep.
Oh God.
It's an impossible thing. It's really tough. I don't think there's an answer.
And they throw a bunch of VR stuff in that list too. And like, unless you're looking for that tiny little icon, it's just all kind of the same thing.
And you can try and sort it using the stuff on the side, between software and VR. But like, if you're the maker of Bump and Smack, like,
no, go back. There's a good one called Hack the FBI.
Whoa.
Look at that.
There's a lot of stuff on here. Some of them I don't even want to read their names.
It's like that.
Yeah, deception is an art, and you've been given your brush. That's
yeah. Fuck yeah.
Right. Hack the FBI.
Yeah.
It's in early access. Listen, they're working on that one.
I mean, deception is an art. You've been given your brush is actually the slogan for this new Steam program as well. So,
anyway,
dude, you're right. But you know what? Like, it's kind of turning into the Wild West thing of like the App Store.
Oh yeah, the App Store is a mess and has been, and like fucking Google Store is just
but like the Google Store is pretty shitty too, and I never can find anything I want to play on that Google Play Store.
Is it easier to put something up like for Google phones?
Yeah, Apple's a little more.
Yeah, the cert process is more rigorous. On Apple's.
Apple's like one of the few that actually sticks to like old school game publishing rules. Like they literally don't let people talk about their like Mac or iOS ports until like right before they come out or whatever.
Oh,
like
weird.
It's just they have all these weird restrictions around stuff.
Huh?
Yeah, Steam's a weird place these days.